part of the revolution is to get out of the screen and into embodied presence with each other, holding each other, hugging each other, right? Hugging each other, right? A hug is the beginning of any real revolution. If we can't hug each other, revolution doesn't work. If we can't touch and feel each other and smell each other, right, and be in the space together, right, and gather around the table together, right, then we can't respond to existential risk.
Now for my recap from last week's One Mountain, Many Paths. The dignity of humanity, being the saviors of God. We can't understand how to respond to the meta crisis. We can't heal a planet drenched in shame. We can't restore human dignity unless we actually understand the following sentence. When we rewrite our story, when we take our unique risk, when we become a unique letter in the cosmic scroll, when we play our unique instrument in the unique self-symphony, we reconfigure the music of the divine personhood. Last week, Marc unpacked 8 aspects of this realization. 1, we are primary actors in the cosmic story. Our story matters. Each individual is not just a passive observer, but a central character in the grand narrative of the cosmos. Our personal stories are interconnected with the evolutionary story of the whole of the universe. 2, we are the universe, a love story, in person, moving from unconscious to conscious, recognizing that our personal narratives are not isolated, but personal narratives are cosmic in nature. Every detail of one story is connected to the magnificence of the cosmos. Our personal story is chapter and verse in the universe, a love story. 3, our story deserves to be told. We are responsible not just for living our story, but for telling our story. Our story, as Laura Riding writes, until the stories of our lives are told, we go on desperately craving it. 4, we reject the notion that only certain lives are worthy of being shared. Every human story holds dignity and significance. We have to give dignity to our story. 5, our story deserves to be performed. The whole world is a stage. We show up with the best of ourselves, and we elicit the most stunning and beautiful dimensions of ourselves. Our story matters in some ultimate sense. The story of cosmos is somehow incomplete without our stories. 6, there is no fixed script. The story is unfolding. The story of cosmos, the story of humanity, and in particular, our human story, as a set of nested Russian dolls. We are not only a primary actor in the story, not only the storyteller, not only the performer of the story, but we are the playwright. Our story is unfinished. 7, how we write that next chapter in the story, the lines we pen, the plot line we unfold, has cosmic significance and quite literally ripples throughout reality. What we do and how we hold it and who we decide to become within the context and constraints and potentialities of our unique circumstances. There is this window of choice, and the point is that we have that choice in which we take our unique risk, live our unique sacred autobiography, and give our intimacy and influence. We become these unique qualities of intimacy, incarnate our unique set of allurements, be the unique desire that courses in us, and we liberate ourselves from surface scripts of desire. 8, To the extent that we do that, we not only fulfill the purpose of our existence, but we rewrite the cosmic tale, change the quality of the entire symphony, and reset the direction of cosmos itself. All of this is set by mostly private moments, hidden moments, texts, understandings, and we become something that's unimaginable in its unique beauty. Divinity is rewritten in some real way, and we have direct personal realization and experience of our capacity to actually rewrite divinity. Divinity is waiting desperately to be rewritten, to be evolved by our story. Now, I invite us to more deeply enter into the holy and sacred spaces of one mountain, many paths, and I turn my word to you, Krista Josepha.
Thank you, Christina Tahel, for that beautiful Dharma recapitulation. And I just want to appreciate you so much for spending so much time every week sorting out every word of the beautiful Dharma transmission, and then weaving those direct quotes from Dr. Marc Gafni together into this beautiful Dharma recapitulation. And I just feel every week how it really helps me to sink in, to locate myself, to remember what we did last week, and also to collect the joy from the beautiful Dharma that was spoken and kind of bring it back into my awareness as we take the next step here today. So thank you so much, Christina. And as a surprise, I am here now speaking to you instead of Dr. Marc Gafni, and we have a very, very exciting, beautiful journey ahead of us that we created here together. And Dr. Marc Gafni is not with us today because he had a family emergency that he had to take care of immediately, and it's nothing to get worried about, but it did cause him not to be here today, and he was really, really sorry, of course, but he totally wanted to celebrate the 400th episode with us. And also we must forgive him because he has been here today for 400 weeks. Almost every week he has been here. So yeah, let's celebrate and let's love it open together as we're holding also Dr. Marc Gafni in our hearts. So today we have 400 weeks. 400 weeks, that is a lot. I think since 2017, I think Barbara Marx Hubbard and Dr. Marc Gafni started Evolutionary Church together. So let's just feel for a moment into that kind of birthing of something new that happened. So Barbara Marx Hubbard, who Deepak Chopra calls the grandmother of conscious evolution, met with Dr. Marc Gafni, evolutionary, mystic, philosopher, visionary, and they came together, and Barbara became Mark's student, and they studied the Dharma together, and they evolved Dharma together, and they spoke here for many, many, many weeks, 130 weeks, I think, together. And we are actually currently editing all these old episodes, and I don't know if anyone here has been there for the first episode. Maybe you can let us know in the chat box if you were one of the ones that were here in the beginning. Inika, I saw you already wrote you were almost here for all the 400 episodes, so that's just amazing. Christina was here, Kirsten was here, Suzette was here. I wasn't here myself. I came in a little later, I think a year later. But it's an amazing, epic, beautiful journey. And as we are editing those early episodes, I can actually see so much how the Dharma has evolved, how the new story that we're articulating here every week is evolving and growing. And that is amazing and powerful. And so today we're going to celebrate that whole journey, 400 episodes, but especially the last 100 episodes, because our last big celebration was the 300th episode. And we're going to do that with a beautiful clip from Barbara Marx Hubbard. So I'm so excited that she's going to be with us here today through this recording. And of course, she is with us here every week. We can feel her so often in the space with us, holding us, taking care of this beautiful one mountain, many paths. And so today we get to see her face, we get to hear her voice, and we get to know that even though we miss her, she is still so, so very close to us. And of course, we're also going to hear from Marc Gafni, who's going to be speaking about digital intimacy. So all of this is to celebrate the space that we have here together, this beautiful community space, this beautiful transmission of the Dharma, and we're going on a beautiful journey together. So I'm going to turn my word now to Jacqueline, who's going to read the Evolutionary Love Code of this week, and then we will turn to Barbara Marx Hubbard.
Thank you, Krista. Thank you for that lovely introduction to this 400th episode. So here is our code for this week, which talks about your unique gift. Your unique gift addresses a unique need within your circle of intimacy and influence that can be addressed by you and you alone. In that precise sense, your unique gift is needed by all that is. In this precise sense, you are needed by all that is. Reality, God, needs your service. And I just popped that in the chat box. And now it's my absolute delight to introduce the Barbara clip that Krista talked about. It's a gorgeous clip from one of the early evolutionary churches. So we'll hand it over to the lovely Barbara. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark, and everyone, and all our prayers. Reality needs your service. Now, what in the world does that mean? First of all, what's reality? And secondly, what's your service, and why should it be needed? So all of those things are a great mystery at which I would like to explore with you. So what is reality? We are saying that reality is the self-organizing universe. It's not an external God. It's not being manipulated, but there is, you might say, an innate quality in evolution itself. It is the thing itself. It isn't something about the thing or something external to the thing. It's the thing itself. Reality is this incredible self-organizing universe that needs your service. Oh my God, well, what could my service be to the self-organizing universe of the entire billions and billions of galaxies? So zeroing in on myself within the awesome extent of the self-organizing universe, here is what I believe everyone's true contribution to reality is. It is your deepest heart's desire. In order for you to know what your contribution is, it's not some external act. It's not even something nice that you might do for someone or for yourself. It's your deepest heart's desire. And I want to look at that for a moment to see, is it true? And let's everyone look for a moment internally. It's not easy to come up with your deepest heart's desire, because one of the things we've discovered about Homo Amore Universalis is that all of our vocations have no lid on the top. Our deepest heart's desire is not, let's make a slightly better book, or let's do a slightly better thing over here or there or elsewhere, even though that's important. But let's say I asked myself, Barbara, what is your deepest heart's desire? I had to let it go the whole way to be my deepest heart's desire. And I found it's the impulse of evolution within me desiring. You know what's desiring inside of you and me? It's the self-organizing universe. And the way the self-organizing universe inside of you expresses itself is at your deepest heart's desire. So by daring to let it go the whole way. And Mark has been saying, don't hold back, not only with your prayers, but with your deepest heart's desire for your service to reality. you will find that you're tapping into the essence of the self-organizing universe inside you. Now that's awesome because it's unique in everyone and needed by everyone, through everyone, for the universe. And when you say yes to it, if you can find it, and like for me, it's the planetary awakening in love through a unique self symphony to turn on the noosphere so that we jump through the system of breakdown to breakthrough. That's my deepest heart's desire. And everything I do, one way or another, is coded by that self-organizing universe. Marc's deepest heart's desire is so awesome. For everybody in this church's deepest heart's desire. Oh my God, just this church. And imagine by saying yes to it, you're saying yes to the God within you. You're saying yes because God is showing up as your deepest heart's desire that you have to say yes to. Now, here's the other thing I find about saying yes to my deepest heart's desire. Coded in it is my evolutionary genius. Coded in your deepest heart's desire is your most awesome creative potential. It's what you know that you might not even be aware that you know unless you say yes to your deepest heart's desire, because it's a secret. It's too big to be noticed otherwise. You would feel, sort of, overly bold or not wise to say my deepest heart's desire is to contribute to the planetary awakening of humanity. Here's another one of God's secrets. When reality needs your service, it means God needs you to say yes to your deepest heart's desire so God can be an expression of your most evolutionary, great potential self, so that the universe can evolve through and as each of us. Oh, is that a good plan? If I were God, that's the way I would have thought it up. Well, so that seems to be what's so. So let's go one more step now. And I'm discovering this in the cosmo-erotic universal understanding of the wheel of co-creation. Because you are in the wheel of co-creation now, if you can imagine the spiral and the wheel, and your deepest heart's desire is going somewhere like in health or education or economics, but it's not going there alone, because in the wheel of co-creation, from that core of the spiral is coming everyone's expression of their deepest heart's desire, where it fits best in the whole system of the shift. Now, this is, as I've mentioned before, Jonas Salk says it's not survival of the fittest, but survival of what fits best. So in the wheel of co-creation, for reality to show up, it seems to have coded itself with the need for synergistic convergence to make the jumps. It's never made just through great individuals alone. It's made through synergistic convergence. And what we haven't yet done in society that is most needed for everyone's reality to serve is to create social synergy among our genius. And that social synergy created to serve reality, where what happens then to you is you find that your genius is truly a direct expression of the love code of evolution. Where else would it come from? Wow. And to just allow ourselves for a moment to realize that each of our deepest heart's desire is coded with our genius. And that our genius is an expression of the evolutionary impulse of creation, or love, the love story of the universal love story. It's the core. And we are, as the purpose of a truly evolutionary church of evolutionary love, would be an instigator of the whole system shift. Is that true? Am I being ridiculous? Or are we having a true thought here?
Barbara Marx Hubbard, that doesn't sound ridiculous at all. It sounds so true to me. And let's just feel into that for a moment. How those beautiful words that Barbara Marx Hubbard spoke, that huge invitation that we're here together to be participating in telling this universe a love story, to be those unique expressions. And maybe we can all just kind of feel each other, how we're each in our own homes or wherever we are, listening, tuning in online, and we're all over the world. And everyone in their own little home receiving this beautiful vision, this beautiful invitation to be a part of something that is so great and so powerful. And if we each become those unique expressions of love intelligence and love beauty, as we say in the Dharma, how we can actually together activate that planetary awakening in love through unique self symphonies. So thank you, Barbara, and also grateful for this beautiful space that was created here, that we can actually meet online, because I wouldn't know any of you. I think maybe one person here I would know, if it a few maybe, if we weren't able to meet online, if we weren't able to connect with each other all over the world. And so I'm so grateful also for the technology that allows us to come together here every week, to have our sacred, beautiful home here together. So we're going to listen to Dr. Marc Gafni evoke the power of digital intimacy and connect, knowing that we are each a unique expression, that we each have a unique contribution to make, as Barbara invited us, with also this space that we have, that we can sink into, that we can drink from, this well of outrageous love that we have here in this beautiful digital community. So let's listen to Dr. Marc Gafni.
Look at the screen, right, for a second. And this is perhaps part of our intention. Look at the screen. We're looking at a screen. There's a screen. Now, we've been told that this screen is somehow non-intimate, right? That intimacy happens in person. But the screen is somehow problematic. The screen has somehow reduced us. Now, that's not entirely wrong. There's something enormously important about the exchange of embodied presence with each other. And we absolutely need to create embodied presence. And imagine if Facebook optimized not for stealing attention, right, to fuel what's called the attention economy, meaning to engage a person for as long as possible. And engagement is a euphemism for addiction, in order to do the most reality mining of your data, in order to sell that data to disinterested third parties. Imagine if Facebook actually optimized for getting people involved in embodied meetings in their local communities. Facebook could easily do that. And Facebook is not just a tool, it's not value neutral. Social media, which is essentially AI. Social media is just another word for AI. Social media is an early form of AI, right? I was talking to my partner, Zach Stein, this morning, and we were talking, or last night, and we were talking about how AI itself runs through all of social media. We just call it social media. But of course, in fact, there's a computer that points at you as you're scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through Facebook or scrolling through Instagram, that actually integrates instantly through machine intelligence algorithms, aka AI, everything about you, in order to give you the next piece of information or the next image that will keep you for the longest amount of time, which will hijack your attention, not for your interest, not optimized for you, but to actually reality mine data about you, which is more available because you stayed on longer, because your attention was held longer, which then can be sold, increasing, right, the profit of a very, very narrow group of people. But of course, Facebook doesn't have to, or TikTok doesn't have to optimize that way. TikTok could be optimized for creating beautiful embodied online engagement or beautiful embodied in-person engagement. Facebook can optimize for whatever it wants. So technology is not value neutral. Technology is coded with value. So of course, if Facebook optimized for in-person meeting, that'd be fantastic. That'd be beautiful. Right? People would be meeting in person all over the place, and that'd be beautiful. And so there's a great beauty for embodied meeting. An embodied meeting is necessary, and the web absolutely can't replace it. I'm going to take that as a given. Okay. And part of the revolution is to get out of the screen and into embodied presence with each other, holding each other, hugging each other, right? Hugging each other, right? A hug is the beginning of any real revolution. If we can't hug each other, revolution doesn't work. If we can't touch and feel each other and smell each other, right, and be in the space together, right, and gather around the table together, right, then we can't respond to existential risk. That's all true. And now here's a big and, okay? So that was all part one. Part one, now part two. Who's with me for part two? Anybody in for part two? Let's go for part two because this is crazy important. All right, here's part two, crazy important, okay? And there's a second notion of intimacy which takes place on the web. We can actually be online in front of the screen and be intimate. We don't need to be reduced. We don't need to be merely downgraded human beings controlled by upgraded algorithms. We can actually meet here like we do every week in one mountain in this online church, synagogue, mosque, right? Civic center, Buddhist, Zendo, and we can actually be digitally intimate. We can be intimate with each other. We can be in this screen and just look at the screen in front of you. It's kind of wild, right? So we're told, oh, this screen disintermediates intimacy. Well, yeah, we got that. But now let's look at the screen and let's look at kind of how gorgeous it is. So first off, let's just take a look. First off, we're focused on each other. You feel the kind of absolute focus? We're actually looking right at each other. And we're in the screen together. We're in this space together. And there's another kind of subtle energy that actually lives in the space that's actually real. And we can actually find each other. And we can actually, if we open our heart and we let the values that live or the value or the Tao of reality, we let it come alive, we can actually find each other on the screen and we can begin to create participatory communities that are real. Because we're having real conversations, we're committed to real value, and we're actually loving each other. We're actually finding each other, and we're finding each other in sound and in heart and in subtle energy. And we can actually feel each other in our bodies, and we can literally reach in. So see if you can just feel the field, and let's feel all over the world. We're literally coming together around the world, and we're feeling each other, right? And we're holding each other. And so we're creating this space of digital intimacy. And you can look, by the way, on the website of the Center for Integral Wisdom, and there's an entire section called digital intimacy, right? The need to create intimacy within the structure of the World Wide Web. And it's not to create downgraded human beings, but to actually use this modality to actually upgrade, to actually pay attention, to actually step in, to focus on each other, to bloom each other open with our intention, to look in each other's eyes, to feel each other. So let's just, if you can for a second, let's just feel each other. Just feel each other, just imagine, just feel each other, right? Just link hands, hearts open, right? Around the world, right? We're finding each other. And those people who are with us now live, and those people who are with us, if you're listening to the replay, and this is like week 300, and I don't know, 45, 46, right? That we've been together every week without fail, right? And we this is actually a deep part of our home. This is not, oh, we don't have a home, and this is kind of like the second rate. No. On the one hand, this doesn't replace embodied. That's the whole opening that we did. This does not replace embodied somatic presence with each other where we can hug each other. On the other hand, this is also not a booby prize. It's not like, oh, wow, we couldn't get to it. This is just a booby prize, a second order, essentially inadequate, broken, kind of tragic circumstance. Not at all. We're in community because this medium allows us to be. but we're going to invest this medium with evolutionary love. We're going to invest it with value. We're going to invest it with digital intimacy. Okay? Does that make sense? Who can feel that? Right? And actually, in the screen, you can actually feel the parameter of the screen. You can feel the unique focus we can have in the screen. You can feel our unique presencing of each other in the screen in a way that actually, in certain ways, doesn't happen in in-person conversation where the attention leaks or escapes, right? And just look what else can happen. Just, this is really crazy. So just watch. So as we talk to each other here, there's a chat box. Now check this out, my friends. So we can have a chat box, which allows people to both be in the conversation and then also kind of add their yes or add their open heart, right? Or add just, a couple of words so that there's now a second strain of conversation taking place between, hundreds of us around the world. So as, right, I'm talking, right, or whoever is talking, there's this second strain of conversation taking place in the chat box at the same time. Okay. Now then we could, now let's just try this for a second. Let's just do this for 1 second. Okay. Let's just bring a bunch of people on. Who's ever brings people on. Let's just bring people on for a second. Okay. Just play, focus on the field, folks, stay in the field. Stay in the field, okay? So let's bring people on. I want to change whoever brings people on. Krista, Christina, Amelon, our holy team. Just forget about our normal order. Let's just bring some people on so we can see other people on the screen. Okay, can we do that? See if we can do that, okay? Whatever it takes to do that. There we go. Let's bring some people on. Okay, let's bring some people on, as many as we can. Okay? Like let's bring just we're just gonna test it and show it for a second, okay? Let's just feel this. Okay, so there I see Christina Amelon. Okay, where there's a bunch more people, some more people coming on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hi, Edwin. Good to see you, man. Right. Christiane, great to see you. Yay. Right. Ms. Doc. Right. Luke, good to see you, man. Right. Awesome. Who do we got? There's Raquel. Right. Raquel's in Germany. Right. Right. Edwin, where are you? Okay, give me some more people. Bring some more people on. Okay. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Okay. Take a while. That's okay. Right, bring everyone on. Right, we'll just kind of we won't bring everyone. We'll just bring as many as we can. Right, in a minute. All of a sudden, can you do this in an in-person conversation? You can't do this. Right, just notice that. Right, this is not a second best. This is not some right. We actually have to feel, and this is, and I want to, we created this word like in 2014, and I haven't come back to it enough, and it's crazy important. Digital intimacy. This is digital intimacy. We're around the world. We can find each other. We can look at each other. Now, anyone who wants to, just say hi in the chat box. Okay, anyone, just give us like just some expression of like, I am here. Like, I'm here, right? Love, right? Show up. Just give us a little show up in the chat box. Anybody, right? Yo, I'm here. Okay, Luke, great. Renee, right? Stephanie, right? Elena, right? Ujas, right? Myra, right? Coming at you, right? Marriott, right? Erin, right? Edwin, right? Benjamin, right? Amara, right? Like rock it out. Right, look at that chat box. Right? We can feel each other. Now, can you feel that? I can feel it. I can feel it. Can you do that? Just two people sitting in a room with the attentions leaking, escaping? Can't do that. Right? Kim, right? Kirsten, right? Here we are. So there's and we're in this screen, right? We're in this, right? This home, we're in this Cullen, right? It's like, whoa, Rob, yo, right? This is a big deal. Digital intimacy is a big deal, right? And in some sense, I want to kind of, tenderly say, whoa, we have to really focus and pay attention to One Mountain in a big way, okay? Next week, we're going to have a special week with a special guest. And then we're going to have, into July, and then we have August, right? So we're going to have these great couple of months coming up. And then we're going to kind of, when we hit September, we want to go to the next level. There's a desperate need to create in the online spaces genuine digital intimacy, which then becomes the ground for revolution, right? And as we can't just get offline or reject the techplex, we have to engage technology and download value and evolutionary love into the techplex itself, okay? Now, again, not in place of embodied communities, but co-important, co-valuable, wildly important. And it's, we need to hijack the web from the webmasters. Does everyone get it? And this is digital intimacy. It's a wildly important and beautiful space, okay? So that's just one thing, just in terms of setting, just kind of where we are, right? And actually, that's what we've been doing the whole time. That's actually what we're doing right here. What we're doing right here is that is what this is, right? And just the way I've heard all these conversations this week, different people, chatting, and we almost forget what we're doing, right? We are in this notion of digital intimacy, right? Right. And the web doesn't disintermediate intimacy. It actually creates intimacy. I mean, there are people, right, in One Mountain that I've never met, right, that I feel enormously close to. And I've only met on the screen, and I feel actually infinitely closer to them than lots of people that I've been in the many, many rooms with over many years. Isn't that wild? That's just an actual fact. I feel more intimate, closer to, heart more open, shared values, shared vision, right, with dozens of people in One Mountain that I've never met. Now, is that an illusion? No, it's not. It's actually real digital intimacy. I'm like, whoa, right?
Wow. Wow. We're here in this moment to write a new story of value. And so beautiful, right? To feel that digital intimacy between us. So we are slowly bringing people on. We can only do it one by one. So we're going to actually, if you want to switch to gallery view, we can actually see each other. Yes, I'm just doing that now. And your beautiful faces pop up. So we can actually feel, right, what Marc was speaking about, this digital intimacy, this love between us. What a privilege to be here together, to have this home together. Yeah, let's feel that. Yay. So we're together. This is us. This is our home. Yeah. So good to see your beautiful faces. Tiffany and someone there. Nice to meet you beautifully in the sun. So as we're celebrating this 400th episode, we wanted to talk a little bit about what we're actually doing here in One Mountain, Many Paths, and also as part of the bigger revolution that we're a part of. So maybe for those of you who are new here, this is the first time you might hear this. If you are here every week, you know this already. I just wanted to kind of dip into that. So One Mountain, Many Paths is part of a bigger organization that is called the Center for World Philosophy and Religion. And one of the core missions of the center is to publish, to write, to articulate and publish a great library. A great library, which is a whole set of books, a whole lot of books. And all of these books represent a different piece of this new story of value that we're telling here together. And this new story of value, as Marc Gafni always says, it's not made up, but it's rooted in the best of all the religions and the best of all the sciences, everything combined. And we have been talking about it every week here in the last couple of weeks. This beautiful, amazing, amazing book. And so this book is called First Principles and First Values, but it's also called The Tip of the Spear, because this is kind of the first, it's not the first book. I'm going to show you other books. We have many books Marc already published. But this is kind of the little book that is a tip of the spear that can kind of begin to kind of open up public culture and begin to tell the new story. So these are 42 propositions. These are the first principles and first values that all of the rest of the Great Library is going to be based on. So the basic beginnings of these first principles you can find in this book. So that makes this book also a really great gift to give to other people and to invite your community to into this new story of value. So just want to read a few sentences from the back cover. First principles and first values is a tip of the spear in the fight for a humane future, establishing frameworks for a new school of thought called cosmo-erotic humanism. The book is built around 42 propositions that provide new source code for the future of a planetary culture. Like Europe in the early Renaissance, humanity is in a time between worlds, in a time between stories. First principles and first values contains blueprints for the bridge needed to cross from this world to the next. So first of all, just want to recommend everyone, of course, to buy this book, to read this book, but also to share it with friends and to invite other people into this new story. And also to remind ourselves what we're doing here, that we're actually publishing this awesome Great Library. And part of that Great Library is a whole division that we're calling oral essays. And these are the books that we're making from every time Marc has spoken anywhere, which is here, of course, every week in One Mountain, 400 episodes of One Mountain, but also the festivals. We've had, this year is the 12th Outrageous Love Festival, which we're now calling Eros Mystery School. So that's 5 days of transmission of the Dharma, 5 days of weaving this new story. And so all of these recordings, we have the transcripts. And then from those transcripts, we are editing them in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful way with so much gratitude to Elena, who I don't see here now, but she developed this amazing, beautiful way how to turn a written transcript into a book. And this is the first book that she created from that. So last year, Marc did a couple of weeks on the Ukraine war. Oh, there you are, Elena. I see you there. Thank you so much. And so Elena edited those episodes, and from that she created this book. And so this way, we can actually create an entire library from all of the One Mountain Many Paths episodes. So myself and Paul Kwame, you see here, and Talia, and Benjamin, and Christina Amelong, she just finished her first book. So all of us were working on these books and getting all of the One Mountain episodes as a beautiful division of the Great Library out into the world. But that's not the end of it, because here we have the festival books. So Jeffrey is working on all the festivals, 10 years of festivals, and we're putting those into books. And what is really special about these oral essays is that they are, like I said, laid out in a way that it's very, very easy to read. So some of the big Great Library books, like for example, Return to Eros, or Unique Self, big books to read. And for some people, this is harder to read, and you need to really, really dive in. And this is really study material, which I know we all love to do, so you want to be studying. But these books, they're very easy to read because it's an oral transmission, and you can really feel the flow of the moment in it and the energy of the moment in it. And it's very, very energizing material to read. And so these small oral essays, they're going to go into public culture now, but all of these will point back to the big Great Library. So in these small oral essays, you have a lot of the topics like whole-mate relationships, like unique self, like evolutionary love. All of that is referred to, and then you're like, oh, I want to know more about that. And then there's an entire book about unique self. So that's kind of the vision of the Great Library. And for me, I get a sense when I think about books, like how are books going to respond to existential risk? How are these going to change the world? But I really feel like it's almost like an Ark of Noah that we're building here. And so the storm is going to come, we know that, but we have here the tip of the spear, which is kind of the front of the ship. I don't know if you can imagine that. And that is going to glide into the water and help the ship move through the water and open up the water and open up culture, and really open up the hearts of people to realize how powerful this ship is that we're building here, that is actually going to kind of midwife humanity into a new future and make sure that we actually still have a future as a humanity. So just to give us a sense of the huge, amazing project that we're a part of here, and that's what we're holding here in One Mountain, Many Paths, because we're not only a community, that's also a big pillar of it, is that we're a band of outrageous lovers and we're all loving each other so madly, and there's a field of outrageous love between us. And everyone is also, welcome to participate in so many beautiful online spaces that we're gathering. We have a study group, we have daily prayer if you want to participate in that, often with recordings from Marc, but also he's joining live, usually on Thursdays and Fridays. So there's many places that we can come together and we can weave this field of outrageous love and Eros between us. But from there, we're actually building an entire revolution and we're building this great library. So like Barbara spoke so beautifully of today, we have a unique contribution to make in the world, but also I feel like there's a reason that each of us that is on this call right now is here, is that we're being called to, as we say, take our seats at the table of history. And that is a huge, powerful, amazing invitation that we all get to be a part of. So I just want to say, feel maybe into your own heart, like what is the next step that you want to be taking here at this table? How do you want to play? And there's 1,000 ways to play. Some people like editing, like words, like books. And so if you're good with that, you're welcome to participate in that project. If you are amazing at marketing, for example, we can use help with that. Managing the YouTube, creating videos, everything that you can think of is help that we need. And of course, also funding these projects, because we are a non-profit organization. The word sounds a bit boring to me, but no one's here to make a profit. We're actually coming together to respond to existential risk. That's what we're here for. So all the funding that we receive go directly into creating these books, telling this new story, and creating these beautiful spaces, gatherings that we can be together in. So we are invited. Let's put it that way. We are all invited. And so if you want to have a deeper conversation about that, I would love that. I will put my email in the chat box, and I would love to just get to know each other and feel where you can play in this beautiful, unique self symphony, a planetary awakening in love through unique self symphonies. And so to end, we're going to celebrate today. We're celebrating 400 episodes, and you can see Jamie there. For me, he's in the top left corner. Jamie Long. He is the co-executive producer together with Jacqueline over there. And so the three of us, we are all week, every week, thinking about One Mountain, breathing One Mountain, creating together. And so for this celebration, Jamie has created a beautiful celebration clip. So we're going to look at that now to close together.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Marc. And thank you, everybody from all over the world being attracted to enter and create for the very first time on planet Earth, as far as we know, an evolutionary church. Why are we creating an evolutionary church? I believe it's to nurture the deeper union of humans and the divine as we begin to gain the powers that we used to attribute to gods.
My God, welcome everyone to Evolutionary Church. It's so good to be with everyone. And let's rock it open. Let's love it open. In reality, there are always two choices, to be open or to be closed. In Evolutionary Church, we're excited.
I am feeling within myself what it means to be within an evolutionary church. I did not realize until we co-created this that I'd been missing it all my life.
Right, just really, Barbara, here we are. We're at this moment. We're taking this to the next level, right? As you always said, quoting the New Testament, the promise will be kept.